therapist and owner and founder of TherHab Fitness. TherHab Fitness is partnering with the Arthritis Foundation to provide a pain management exercise series for the entire month of May. As a physical therapist, I am so excited to be able to have this opportunity to share information about exercising safely when you have arthritis to improve your overall quality of life and reduce pain. So this week, we happen to be doing our YogaHab program. So what is YogaHab? YogaHab is a physical therapist designed class that is using physical therapy knowledge, expertise, treatment concepts, ideas, principles, and combining that with the ancient practice of yoga. So it's not yoga, it's YogaHab. You're going to find it's a lot of dynamic strengthening and stretching exercises, so it's absolutely ideal for anyone who has arthritis. You're going to be moving those joints through the full range of motion, doing active stretching and strengthening, really helping you to move and feel better and increase your ease of motion. So I absolutely love this YogaHab program, and patients love it, and so I'm so excited to be able to show it to you today. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. You're going to sit at the edge of your chair. So you sit at the edge of your chair here. You want to have your back straight. You want to be using good posture, not using the backrest. Your back is nice and straight. We're going to begin in seated mountain pose. So seated mountain pose, you have your palms up, your feet are underneath your knees, back nice and straight, sitting up nice and tall. And we need to begin with some nice deep breathing. So you're going to take a deep breath in using that diaphragm to really get that good deep breath. So inhale, expanding the ribs, and exhale. Inhale, deep breath. You want to feel your belly expand up into your ribs, and then exhale slowly. So this simple diaphragmatic breathing technique is so important for stress to reduce your stress, as well as to make sure that you get that good, deep, efficient breath. Many times we're taking short, shallow breaths during the day, and we don't even realize it. Whereas taking this nice deep breath using your diaphragm to allow the belly to expand up into the ribs and exhale will help tremendously in reducing your stress level and improve the efficiency of your breathing. So we're going to be practicing that deep breathing throughout this entire class. Now, our YogaHab has poses that are dynamic in nature, so moving, strengthening, and stretching through full range of motion, repeating it several times so you're really going to get a good strength benefit. Then we have some static stretching poses to try to increase range of motion. We have some standing strength poses, and we have some standing balance poses. So we're going to be incorporating some of that into the entire class. So sitting nice and tall, we'll begin here. You're going to take your left arm, and I want you to inhale, stretching, really getting a big stretch, reaching way over, and do that again. Inhale, big stretch over to the side. Now we're going to add on to that. You're going to inhale with a leg extension and back. So you see what we're doing here is we're getting great big dynamic moves, going through full range of motion. This is our modified side angle seated pose. Inhale with a great big stretch and exhale. This pose is really good for strengthening the abdominals here as I'm keeping my back straight, really feeling my abs as I pull this back in. And let's do one more on this side. And back to your seated mountain pose. Check your posture. Let's take the arms to the side and inhale all the way up. Exhale back to heart central. And then back to your seated mountain pose. Take your right arm. I want you to inhale, really stretching to the side, and exhale. Inhale up and exhale. You're going to extend the leg and exhale. So keeping that back straight, reaching over to the side, coming back, really stretching through the shoulder. Notice I'm keeping my back straight as I am shifting my weight and really leaning to the side to get that full range of motion. In the shoulder, I'm getting some nice range of motion in the leg and hip. And actively moving my joints gently through that full range of motion. Inhale and exhale. Let's return back to our seated mountain pose. Take those arms to the side. Once again, let's use our deep breath. Inhale up and exhale back to heart central. Let's take that left foot out in front. I want you to put your arms out in front. And now you're going to actively pull your shoulders back. So I want you to squeeze those shoulder blades back, strengthening those posture muscles. You're going to swan dive forward into seated half forward fold pose. Now this pose is wonderful for stretching the hamstrings here. You're holding your arms up, kind of pulling those shoulder blades back, strengthening your upper back as you're really pulling back here. And then you're going to inhale, pull back, exhale, come all the way up. So we're making this a nice, functional, dynamic move, moving in and out of that pose, keeping my back straight and making sure I am simply flexing at the hips to really get some nice trunk mobility and some good strengthening through the upper back. And last one. Good. Sit up nice and tall. We'll put that other leg out. Put your arms out in front. Once again, actively pull those shoulders back, squeezing those shoulder blades back together. And now you'll swan dive forward into seated half forward fold pose. Really focusing here with that neck in neutral. I'm looking at the floor in front of myself. And I'm holding my arms up, strengthening that upper back. Inhale, squeezing those shoulder blades back. Exhale, come all the way up. Inhale, swan dive. And exhale. Inhale, swan dive. Exhale. Good. Once again, getting that nice dynamic, which means just moving through that full range of motion, stretching and strengthening. And one more. Back is straight, and we'll come all the way back up. Back to your seated mountain pose. Put those arms to the side. We'll inhale all the way up. And exhale back to heart central. Back to your seated mountain pose. Moving into triangle pose. Triangle pose, you're going to use a leg extension on the left and great big arm movements, really stretching out, using a big range of motion, and then pull everything back in. So you're going to come forward with that chest up and back straight, using great big arm motions, great big leg motions, really getting good movement through your joints. Bending and straightening that knee, bending and straightening those elbows to really get that big movement. And let's do one more. Good. And back in. Other side, you're going to take that arm and leg out to the side, stretching, and then coming back. Getting that nice big movement. Repeating this several times to really work those joints. I'm doing a big stretch as I'm reaching out with both arms. And let's do one more. Inhale and exhale. Back to your seated mountain pose. Let's take those arms to the side. We'll inhale all the way up. And exhale back to heart central. Put your arms to the side. You're going to pull those feet back. And we're going to go into modified staff pose. As you push up on your toes, raise those arms up, pulling the shoulder blades back as far as you can, and coming back down. Inhale up, big stretch, and down. Inhale up, and down. Two more, big stretch up, pulling those shoulder blades back. Notice I'm pushing up on my toes, so really going through that full range of motion. Pushing up on the toes, working the calves, and back to your seated mountain pose. This next pose I really like because it really targets those abdominal obliques. So we're going to go into what we call seated modified half moon pose. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your opposite arm and leg and you're going to extend them at the same time, keeping that back straight. So you're going to lean back. Now feel what's happening here at the abdominals. You are really strengthening the core, and then you're going to pull yourself forward. alternating. Now this can be a little bit of coordination, often trying to coordinate that right and left side, and you're pulling yourself back in. This is that modified half moon pose, and we're really strengthening the core throughout this pose. So leaning back, getting that good core strengthening, pulling yourself back in, and leaning back, and back in. Wonderful core strengthening exercise. And come on back. Let's return back to our seated mountain pose. Back is nice and straight, and we'll do another nice deep breath in. Inhale up, and exhale back to heart central. Back to your seated mountain pose. We're going to do another core pose. This one is called modified boat pose. I'm going to show you the easiest method first. You're sitting at the edge of the chair with that back nice and straight, and you can lean back, extending one leg, and come back in. So once again, this is a pose that is really targeting those core muscles, which your core muscles are so important for supporting your back and really for all of your movement to be nice and stable and secure. So that would be level 1. I'm going to show you how you can make that a little harder. If you like, you can hold onto the side of the chair and take those feet out and pull them back in. So once again, another modified chair yoga pose, really strengthening those abdominal muscles, pulling in. And let's do one more. Taking it out and in. Very good. Back to your seated mountain pose. Check your posture. Back is straight. Arms to the side. Inhale up. And exhale back to heart central. Back to your seated mountain pose. Now we're going to do a rotation pose. I love this one for rotation at the shoulders and hips. You'll put your heels out in front, and then you're going to take those knees and toes out to the side, and your hands are out to the side, and then you're going to roll it back in. So this is great, active, dynamic movement, targeting rotation at the hip and at the shoulder. So that's wonderful for really gaining that active flexibility in the joints, which this active movement is critical for keeping those joints pain-free and strong. So here you're really getting that synovial fluid in there, lubricating the joint, really working through that rotation, which is so important for the functioning of our hips and our shoulders. Let's do one more. Good, and coming back. Sit nice and tall, arms to the side, and exhale back. Back to seated mountain pose. We're going to move into a good strength and active dynamic stretching pose. So this one is a sit to stand with a twist. So let me demonstrate that. You're at the edge of the chair. You're going to do a strengthening pose coming up to your standing position. And when you get into standing, we're going to add a nice functional twist. So look at how I'm rotating. I'm kind of twisting my hip and body comfortably, stretching to the side, and then now I'm going to come back, making sure that I am reaching for that chair, sitting down. Let's do that again, coming all the way up nice and slowly. Let's reach back and back in. Going nice and slowly to really work the leg muscles. I love this sit to stand exercise because that's excellent for functional strengthening of the legs. You're targeting multiple muscle groups. Notice as I'm standing up, I'm really coming forward, shifting my weight forward, and then I'm reaching back to get that trunk rotation. I'm also turning my head, so I'm getting some good neck range of motion, some good neck extension and rotation as I'm turning my whole spine, looking back, and then coming back in. Very good. Let's do 2 more of those. Nice and slowly coming up, strengthening the legs. Reach back for some good trunk mobility, neck mobility, and come back down. And then one more here, reaching back and back up. Okay. Very good. Let's sit nice and tall, ground ourselves back in the seated mountain pose. Put your arms to the side. We'll take that deep breath in. And exhale back to heart central. Back to seated mountain pose. Now I'd like to go ahead and stand up and move into some standing poses. We're going to come to the chair. And let's go right around here to the left side of your chair. I would like for you to put your left leg in front. You're going to put that right leg back, and now you're going to turn that right foot out about 45 degrees. So you can see my foot back here turned out about 45 degrees. This front knee should be a little bit flexed because this is going to be a strength pose in addition to a balance pose. So I have this knee flexed, careful not to let that knee go in front of the toe, and I've centered myself, pulling myself up nice and straight. Now we're going to begin by a crescent lunge pose. So you're going to have your arms in front and then squeeze those shoulder blades back. Of course, if you need to hold on, you could always do that. But here you're going to pull those shoulder blades back for some dynamic stretching of the pectoral muscles and then strengthening of those muscles in between your shoulder blades. You may find that this is a little bit of a balance challenge position as well. And last one. Good, roll those shoulders back. And now we're going to do a revolved crescent lunge pose. So this is an awesome balance pose. You can hold on if you need to, and you're going to take your arm up, looking up, so your vision is really critical for maintaining your balance. And you can find that turning your head and following your hand as you bring that arm up and down can really challenge that balance as you're looking up at your hand all the way up, stretching back, coming all the way down. Okay, so really looking up, stretching up high and down. One more time, lifting up and down. So that's a wonderful pose for challenging balance, but also as you're reaching up, you're feeling that nice elongation in your trunk. The whole time you're strengthening here with this leg with that knee flexed. Let's turn that foot in. We'll come all the way back. Let's put our feet about shoulder width apart. Go into a nice deep breath in and exhale. Very good. Okay, you can come around to the other side of your chair. Let's put that right foot in front and that left foot is back, turning that foot out about 45 degrees. You want to center yourself. Now, once again, that knee is not going in front of the toe. You've centered yourself, and you're going to put those arms in front. Inhale, squeezing those shoulder blades back, strengthening the posture muscles, stretching those muscles, the pectoral muscles here, as you're pulling back actively as far as you can. Let's do two more of those, really pulling back. And last one. From here, we'll go into revolved crescent lunge pose. So remember this one, you can hold on a little bit for balance because this can challenge the balance. I'm going to look at my hand the whole time. I reach up high, stretching up high, and then bring that hand down. You'll notice as you follow that hand with your vision, as you're looking at your hand, you're going to find that can really challenge your balance. You're getting a little bit of a vestibular challenge and a visual challenge for the balance. You can try not to hold on. Really feel the difference there. Let's do one more, really with a nice big elongation stretch at the end. Very good. Let's turn that foot in, and we're going to step all the way back up. Come back around for standing mountain pose, and you're going to come all the way up and exhale back. Moving into another strength pose, we're going to drop it back for chair pose. Also, I've heard of this, is called powerful pose. So here you're going to sit back, and so you're sitting in a chair. So notice my back is straight, chest up, I'm coming forward, and now I'm going to take my arms out to the side to add a posture exercise with this. So really strengthening the legs as I'm holding this position. My neck is in neutral. I'm not trying to hyperextend the neck. I'm just keeping it in neutral, looking at the floor in front of me. And this is quite a challenge, holding this pose and then holding those arms up. Let's kind of take a break from that. Come all the way up. And inhale, swan dive back into that challenging strength position. The weight is primarily on the heels. Your back is nice and straight. You're looking at the floor in front of you. And then you'll come back up. And let's do one more good strength pose there. Holding those arms up against gravity to really strengthen that upper back. Really strengthening the legs in this powerful dynamic squat position. Really a tough exercise. And then slowly come all the way up. Very good. Let's take a good deep breath in. Inhale. And exhale. Very good. Rolling those shoulders back. Now I'd like to add a balance pose at this point. So you're over here by your chair, standing up tall. You know, you can hold onto that chair with a little fingertip or just have it ready in case you need it. And you're going to begin with a modified staff pose in standing. And then you're going to take that up to a star pose. Let's come back to our modified staff pose. So your heel can be gently resting on the floor. And let's see if you can take your strength and really hold that leg up, arm back, and back in. So really strengthening through the hip. Take that arm up, inhale, and exhale. I'm bringing my foot back. I'm kind of tapping that heel back in staff pose. Inhale up, and exhale. Now let's try a couple where we really try to challenge our balance. Try not to hold on, and then take that leg up, and back. And last one, big stretch, pulling back, extending back, and back in. Great. Shake those legs out, and we'll come around to the other side of your chair. And now, once again, staying up nice and tall, you're going to put that heel in front into staff pose. And then you're going to come all the way up, lifting up into star pose. I'm pulling that arm back, I'm lifting that leg up to straighten the hip. And now I'm going to come back to our staff pose. Lift up, extend back, and then back to staff pose. Inhale up, and back to staff pose. One more nice big one, really lifting that leg up, pulling the arm back. I can really feel those muscles working. And back. Now let's try it where you're trying to balance at the same time. So not really holding on. And then bringing that leg back. And again, let's try to challenge that balance. And back in. Good, let's shake those legs out. And then I'd like you to come into downward facing dog. Now this is one of those flexibility stretching poses that is so wonderful. You're going to drop it back on your heels, holding onto that chair, getting a good stretch for your low back. You'll put your hips over to one side, and then back over to the other side, leaning back in this modified downward facing dog, really getting a nice stretch for the low back. Gently walk all the way back up. Now let's bring the feet together and the knees together. Standing nice and tall, we're going to do a crescent moon pose. This is a wonderful one for really stretching your trunk, your core, and really feeling a good stretch into the hip as you're going directly laterally to the side. So I'm not forward or hyperextended, I'm going right to the side, really feeling a good stretch of my hip. And then other side, reaching over, really getting a good stretch. Really feeling that great stretch here in the hip. And back. Now you can hold on to the chair for balance if you need to. This is a wonderful extension stretch. Putting those feet about shoulder width apart, put your hands at the small of the back, and you'll lean back, looking up to get a good stretch back into extension stretch, feeling a good stretch in the hip flexor group as well. And coming up nice and slowly, let's take a good deep breath in. Inhale up, and exhale. Great. Let's return back to our chair, and we're going to go into a few more good poses. So sitting at the edge of the chair, let's just begin in seated mountain pose again. So check your posture. Your back should be nice and straight, shoulders back, feet under your knees. Put those arms to the side, and you'll take a good deep breath in. Inhale up, And exhale back to heart central. Back to seated mountain pose. Now we're going to turn all the way to the side for a good stretching pose. You're going to turn completely to the side. You can hold on to your chair for balance. And I want you to stretch that leg way back. I'm going to kind of lean forward to wiggle it back. And now I'm going to take this arm up and extend back. And if you're comfortable with it, add the other arm. So now we're in warrior one pose. So really stretching back, extending back, and you'll notice this is wonderful for extension through your back. And I want to point out that here you're getting some wonderful stretching through that hip flexor group. So really nice stretching. I want you to inhale and stretch up high, feeling your spine elongate. And then exhale, you're going to add a little bit of rotation into warrior two. Inhale up, pulling back, warrior one. Exhale for warrior two. Inhale up, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Let's do two more. Inhale up, stretching back. And this is some nice strengthening as you're holding up those arms. Great flexibility for both your back and for your shoulders. So really just wonderful active dynamic movement. And then let's gently bring that bring your left leg in. And now let's take that leg out to the side with the toe up. Stay up nice and tall. And you're going to stretch over to that side for a modified triangle pose. And this is wonderful. We're feeling a good stretch in the inner thigh. I'm also feeling a nice stretch through my trunk. So just a fabulous flexibility pose here. And back in. Bring your leg back in. And other side. You're going to hold on to that backrest and stretch that leg straight back, all the way back. Now then reach back with one arm, and if you're comfortable, you'll take both arms up. Once again, really feeling that good stretch in the hip flexor group. I'm extending back through my spine to get that nice extension through my back. And I'm going to inhale up and elongating through the spine, and I'll get some nice rotation for warrior two. Try that with me. Inhale up, reaching up high, and exhale for warrior two. Inhale up, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Last one, inhale, warrior one. And exhale, warrior two. Gently bring that knee all the way back in, sitting tall. You're going to take that right foot out, heel up, toe facing up, and you're staying up nice and straight as you lean over to the side to get that nice stretch in the inner thigh. Also that good stretch here through your trunk, through your waist here. And this is modified triangle pose. Really feeling that nice stretch. And all the way back in. Good. Now we'll come back around to the front. And we're going to sit nice and tall. Back is nice and straight. Palms up in seated mountain pose. And we'll finish up with 3 good deep breaths. So inhale up, deep breath, filling your lungs. And exhale. Inhale up, deep breath. And exhale. And last one. Inhale up. And exhale. Wonderful. Roll those shoulders back. Well, I hope you really enjoyed that class. It is full of that good dynamic stretching and strengthening. If you felt like this was a little easy for you, you could join us again on Wednesday or Friday, because today was level 1 YogaHab. So I'm Patrice Zahn. I'm a physical therapist and owner and founder of TherHab Fitness. So excited to be here for the entire month of May with the Arthritis Foundation to continue to provide you with some exercise tips and suggestions and classes to really help improve your joint pain and your strength and your overall quality of life. So thank you for joining us today, and come back next week where you're going to really experience a TherHab Fitness class. So this is a wonderful class that contains all the components that you need in order to stay fit and well. So this class will have your aerobics, your strengthening, your balance, and your flexibility. So you need all of those things in your workout program really to meet all of your needs to stay fit, healthy, and well, because you need all of those things: stretching, balance, strength, and endurance. So join us next week for our TherHab Fitness classes. And if you liked this class, if you could look down below, you'll see where you could join our Walk for Arthritis TherHab Fitness team and donate to the Arthritis Foundation. And you should also please, please, please like and share this video with your friends and family. So thank you for joining us today, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the day.